Town Hall Heroes.
Happy birthday, Zul!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Town Hall Heroes, episode number 160. We are 1.5 weeks away from Blizzcon. Bakery is training for his HGC matches, but we've got DunkTrain, and sitting in the chair of the European or the Brexitinian, we've got Marche. Marche, have you ever been on the show? I think you have. You're totally muted. Try again.
I was on the one at Gamescom, but that wasn't really, the official setup. So it was my first time here. Thanks for having me.
So, first of all, I'm sad about that. Second of all, you have been around Heroes since the beginning. Originally you played a lot in the competitive scene. Now you're a full-time streamer. Does that summarize your Heroes experience, or what could our viewers know about you if they don't know you?
No, yeah, that just about summarizes it. I have been in HOTS since pretty much its inception, since back in Technical Alpha. You guys were there too, I remember that. And used to focus a lot more on playing competitive here and there, but transitioned into full-time streaming, and nowadays that's what I do. That's my main gig. You'll catch me at BlizzCon streaming from there.
Nice. Dunkenstein, almost Halloween. His beard is still just too handsome to be spooky.
I don't know. I could put some cobwebs up in there. You'd be surprised.
Dude, please do that. Please do that.
What's good, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just kind of doing my thing. I had to take a break from streaming last week, for those of you who missed me. I had some family stuff to deal with, but we're back. And sadly, I guess, not sadly, but I'm going to be traveling again next week for BlizzCon, so streaming's going to be on hiatus then too. It's a tough month if you're looking for dunk streams.
The struggle of life. But BlizzCon is going to be a glorious moment. Obviously, TwitchCon, BlizzCon, a lot of people on the road this time of the year for those events. March is it's so hard. It's like an hour drive to TwitchCon. It's like 30 minutes to BlizzCon. I know it's hard, man, but it's all winding down and for this year. And obviously HGC, that starts tomorrow. The opening week for BlizzCon is 16 hours away, maybe something around there, and it's just intense. We're going to talk about that tonight. Last week we were supposed to have a show. We were supposed to talk about Muradin and ZulJin, but I got the stomach flu. I was completely out of commission for 3 days, just bed sick. So that's why we didn't have a show last week. And then this week we are back, but man, Destiny is slaying me. That game. I mean, it came out yesterday, but I've got a solid 17 hours in so far. So
yeah,
nice.
Haven't slept?
a little bit, but it is definitely very fun. So
nice.
Without further delay, let's just jump in to Muradin. Muradin did receive a rework, and I'm going to pull up the patch notes. March, let's start with you. What do you think about the changes to Muradin?
I mean, I feel like he's a lot stronger now, obviously. I feel like generally people seem to think that he's a lot more powerful. It's another hero that got a baseline quest. I've only probably touched him twice since the reworks, but I feel like having heavy impact on 7 was a huge buff to him, especially in Hero League. Makes getting picks in the early game even easier for him, especially when people are out of position in Hero League wandering around. And yeah, he's scary. I think he's gonna see a lot of picked a lot in Hero League.
No, Dunk, I haven't touched Muradin. I'm the worst tank player you'll ever see. It'll make you cry. It'll make you sad. Is he a main tank? Is he a bruiser? Is he both? Where does he land?
I think he's definitely in the main tank territory. The shuffle on his talent tree really incentivizes building him pure CC. There's not really room for the big damage talents that you used to take, give him the axe anymore. So he's now definitely primary frontliner. Goal is not to contribute that much damage. But his initiation is just insane.
Yeah.
So the biggest difference I would say for the rework is his stun on jump talent got moved to level 7. And there's a bunch of other talents that kind of got shifted around, but that's the one that has the biggest impact on how Muradin is played. Because before, that talent was at 16 and competed with Give Him the Axe or Stone Form, which were huge talents. And now you get access to that extra stun at level 7, and it lets Muradin set up insane CC chains on his own, which was something he was really lacking before, where like he wasn't like an ETC that can slide in, then push you back and provide, you know, just that much CC. Now he basically jumps in, stuns you, Qs you, stuns you. And it's pretty devastating.
I mean, if we had to give him power level, Marche with the other tanks, you know, just we're talking Hero League here. Where do you think he lands in the spectrum of tanks?
Like in Hero League, honestly, just like what Doug was saying, like how he has his own CC chain, like that goes such a long way. Especially if the Muradin player is good and like just playing really aggressively, rotating around the lanes. So, like honestly, like tier 1 Hero League tank, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think in Hero League right now, I've been seeing. I mean, Garrosh gets banned all the time in Hero League because he's so difficult for the entire team to play around properly. And then I've seen Muradin as the next tank ban, basically.
Yeah,
in most of my games. Like, if he isn't picked before the second ban phase, he's almost always banned out if he's still up. So he's way up there in terms of priority and power level, I think.
Dude, that's...
Plus, with the chain, so he has more CC. I've seen more Haymaker too, and I think it's been pretty successful because before the Haymaker, like you jump in, and if you miss your Q after you jump in, you don't have an ulti because like you just run around like an idiot and like you don't want to knock them away with Haymaker or whatever. But now like you jump in and get the stun on the jump, and then you stun them with Q, and it gives you time to position for your Haymaker 100%, and then you Haymaker them back into your team or whatever. And at level 16, you take the range on Dwarf Launch that they put at 16 that they changed, so it also gives CDR. So you can jump behind them more easily now, whereas before it was too much of a sacrifice to take the increased range on jump at 16. So Haymaker got like a huge buff relative to Avatar with these changes. And we were already seeing a little bit of Haymaker usage in Korea in HGC, so I expect to see a lot of Muradin and more Haymaker usage at BlizzCon.
Wait, so I know Junkrat won't be BlizzCon, but do these ZulJin Muradin changes, they will be at BlizzCon?
It's
yes.
this patch without Junkrat. So Junkrat is just global banned for this patch, which is nuts because, you know, like you said, you expect to see Haymaker at BlizzCon. I don't know if that's ever been a thing. Like to say Muradin's going to play at BlizzCon, that's one thing, but to be like, Haymaker is actually going to be a big part of this because of its pick potential, because of the way that it changes Muradin and the way that he can approach fights. It's very different too, and that's exciting to hear. I mean, obviously some of these talents going to be mixing things up a lot. I love this Dwarf Launch, the 3 seconds off, rewarding you to be able to use that jump aggressively. There were so many times in the meta where Muradin had to save that Dwarf as a retreat, otherwise he's fucking up. So many times, like, oh, he Dwarf tossed in, well, this guy's an idiot, he's gonna die because he doesn't have a retreat. And cool to see some of these changes being made.
I mean, it's just Epicenter, like a new Brax thing.
Yeah.
But for Muradin.
It's Thor in chat says Muradin ETC meta again, and we've come full circle. We have. We really have.
We have actually, yeah. That's pretty crazy.
And Stitches is still relevant. You know, he's definitely one of the OG tanks as well when you think about it. So, yeah, you know, there's actually an early meta when it comes to Muradin. There was a point where he wasn't relevant even. People, that was ancient history. But
people thought he was awful.
People thought he was like the worst tank. And then with no changes, people were like, "Bye, he's actually pretty good." Like, but cool. So, Dunk, would you agree that Muradin is in that tier 1 for the Hero League tank picks?
Hero League, absolutely tier 1.
Cool. Not quite Garrosh threat like you mentioned, but still,
up
as
there,
people get better with Haymaker and stuff, maybe he will be. Not level 1, but level 10. So, ZulJin. This hero, however, I have played, and holy monster damage, dude. He is nuts. He got a full talent rework. Baseline, additional range. And we talked a little bit about him. And Dunk, I'm just going to open right up with Headhunter as level 4, right? Or is that level 1?
Level 1.
Level 1. Headhunter, the kill every single enemy hero once, and then you get the additional benefit of the 1.1 range. And maybe it's because I'm playing scrubby quick match games. People die all the time. I get my range. It feels amazing. You said you don't think this is reliable because of how people can play safe and deny you full value of that talent.
Yeah.
Is that you think that's still stick to that? You think that's still going to be too difficult in most situations? And is that true for Hero League and competitive, or one or the other?
Well, I think this talent, like the power level of this talent, also kind of ties into the overall power level of ZulJin, because Headhunter itself, after playing, so when I saw it, I was concerned, okay, you have to get a kill on each of the unique enemy heroes, or a takedown on each of the unique enemy heroes. That's going to be really hard to get. It didn't turn out that it's that difficult to get, so it is valuable, but I think it competes against Recklessness, which just has a lot more synergy with kind of the W build ZulJin that I think is the real star of the rework ZulJin power level wise. So because Recklessness has that spell power bonus, and that damage is just so relevant, and you don't have to worry about doing a quest to get it, I think Recklessness is still the way to go. But Headhunter is not as bad as I thought it would be on first look.
Marche, how do you feel about level 1?
But as level 1 talents, yeah, like if you can finish Headhunter, that bonus range, it feels so good if you synergize that with his baseline quest, because you can attack out of keep range, like out of fort range, which is nuts. But yeah, in high level Hero League also and also in competitive, it just might be a little too unreliable. Whereas like Dunk was saying, Recklessness, like that spell power with the double revolving axes, that goes such a long way in like the late game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it does compete. Like there can be a case made for it. So overall, though, I think ZulJin just feels really, really good right now.
You're both talking a lot about the spell power and saying that it's going to be generally a little bit safer to do this than Headhunter. Overall, do you think he is more of the AP mage ZulJin? Is that the way to play, and is auto attack subpar, or just less consistent at least?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think with, like, if you think about in the last 6 months to a year, like a lot of the heroes have had blinds in their talent tree in places.
Sure.
It's always been tough to get Tezdingo value. Like, you basically need the enemy team to not have any tools available to cancel the value you get from auto attacking. And in this rework, they gave him Amani Rage at level 4, which is by far the coolest thing in the rework. It's a talent that takes away half your current health and then regenerates it over 6 seconds. You get 10 armor while it's regenning. But the big deal with that is, one, it allows you to instantly contribute damage to ganks, party bushes, kill attempts, which was a big problem for ZulJin before. When you're at 100% HP, you're not dealing meaningful damage. Now this talent means that you are never stuck in that situation where you can't get value when your team is trying to kill someone. But also it enables guillotines. It enables you to be below that 50% all the time, basically, when you cast Guillotine with Recklessness. So you always get the damage buff. It's just like a huge talent that really improved the flow of ZulJin and is a big part of why the mage build is so powerful, I think.
How impactful is the 20% ability power on Recklessness with Guillotine? Like, how much does that...
It's huge.
Yeah, it's massive.
I mean, like, the difference, it's really noticeable to feel the difference between when you have Recklessness and when you don't, as far as the impact of your guillotines. It doesn't seem like much, but like your guillotine is hitting for like 1,000 damage at level 10 at 40% HP or whatever. Well, there's a big difference between 1,000 and like 1,200 in terms of how likely it is to actually execute a target, and it is a really big deal, I feel.
Yeah, and like you were saying about how like a lot of heroes have like blinds or like hard CC to interrupt like the Tezdingo. It's like how do you stop a guillotine? Like it's a Chromie W that hits twice as hard and it just comes out of nowhere, like, and it goes off after you die if you wanted to. Like there's no way of dealing with that if you're good at aiming it. Whereas the ZulJin that's Tezdingoing, just blind them, stun them. It can be good. It just not as devastating usually.
Yeah. Plus, I think the talents are pretty heavily in favor in terms of the W talents. Like on every talent tier, basically, there's a W talent that just is more powerful than the alternative talents, I think. So that's even more synergy for recklessness, for the spell power build, for what you're trying to do. So I think it's just like a situation where they did this rework, and before Mage ZulJin wasn't really the way to go, and then they added all these effects that, you know, to incentivize it a little more, and it just ended up being where, like, I think W build Mage ZulJin is the de facto way to play ZulJin now.
And just more fun, right? Like,
yeah, I love the W, like I love the skill shot of the W.
yeah.
For me, that's one of the most satisfying things. Like when you land a sick W, like in a team fight or something in the late game, now that you get the double spin, like the second revolution on the W, if you land a W that hits like 3 people with both axes, and then it comes around again and hits the 3 people with both axes, it's just like unbelievable team fight damage, and you feel so good about it.
All right, I want this in my life. I haven't tried this build yet. Do you get what do you get at level 13?
Lacerate.
Lacerate.
They increase slow. I mean, Ensnare is amazing, but like, it's just the value you get from every cast of W with Lacerate is so high. Yeah.
Ensnare cooldown's like what, 60 seconds?
Yeah, it's really
pretty
long.
If it was 30 seconds, I feel like I'd probably take Ensnare, but
And
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wrong place, wrong time was actually more relevant than I thought it would be to help finish your quest. I don't know about you, March, but I found it actually pretty difficult to finish the quest before level 16 unless the enemy team's running like double tank, double healer.
which question?
Just his innate, his base quest.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just because I want the second revolution of W, and I've found that you kind of have to take wrong place, wrong time, unless it was a really favorable matchup in the early game in order to actually get those stacks.
Yeah, I've had similar experiences where, like, I don't know, it can be kind of difficult to finish the quest. I'll like find myself stepping up when it don't. It's like really awkward.
Yeah,
Like just for the sake of trying to get those autos in. It doesn't really feel that good, but I want those double axes, man.
Mhm.
It's so bad.
yeah.
Dude, I'm pumped about these changes. I played the auto tech style and I had a freaking blast. I think I grinded probably 10 games, last week. Just enjoying it because I've always liked auto attack heroes. It's just satisfying to me. It has a rhythm to it, But the mage style definitely is going to be a lot of fun. Definitely going to hop.
I mean, it's still there.
build.
Like,
yeah,
there's still some value
I'm not
in auto
gonna.
attack builds.
Yeah, of course, because I'm playing in like random quick match viewer games with my buddies and having a great time. And you can complete that quest early. You can get that. There are so many Diablos that will just literally let you
free
auto.
auto.
I'm just like, oh, this is freaking fantastic.
I was playing one game against like Samuro and a Rexar on the enemy team in Hero League, I swear. And I think I got my quest to 150 at like 7 minutes or something. It was insane. We still lost the game. But I had like, it looked good doing it, dude. I had like 150 bonus damage by the end of the game or something. It was crazy.
Fun stuff, man. Fun stuff. ZulJin, it's a little bit harder to place an assassin because the pool has so many more variables than tanks tend to. But if you had to place ZulJin, well, before we actually give him a full placement, compare him to Vala. Where does ZulJin land next to Vala?
ZulJin is definitely a higher risk, higher reward Vala variant, I would say.
Because not having mobility?
Yeah, not having mobility is an enormous downside. I think the payoff is almost there on ZulJin, but for competitive, mobility is king. And I think ZulJin is powerful, but compared to Vala, not having mobility is a huge liability.
March?
I'd have to agree with that. I think he's like S tier fun, tier 2 assassin.
Yeah, I think Vala Greymane are still going to be the kings of the range carry role, hyper carry style. But ZulJin, I would not be surprised to see play, especially if range carries get targeted all in the draft, or if the pros find a specific matchup that he crushes. Like Vala has a tough matchup against Genji because she has such a small health pool, and it's like just at that break point where the Genji can almost always kill the Vala without a lot of cooldowns being spent to save her. ZulJin has a much higher health pool than Vala. He has a self-heal, and he's a lot more deadly to Genji in the time frames that Genji is in range to attack him. So like I think ZulJin actually has a much better matchup against Genji specifically than Vala. And I could see that being a place where ZulJin gets used, but I don't necessarily know off the top of my head any other matchups where people feel like ZulJin is the way to go, you know?
Also, in like coordinated play, you could do some really devastating things if you just give the ZulJin, a mage ZulJin, like hit confirm on like the axes and his guillotine. Like if a pro team like makes sure like their whole comp revolves around giving ZulJin hit confirm in a team fight for those abilities, like that's devastating.
ZulJin Muradin.
Yeah.
Buff them together, draft them together.
I mean, any lockdown, like you're looking at a like 2,000 damage on command burst with W at 16 and R. Like it's pretty crazy because ZulJin had none of that before. It's thanks to Amani Rage and it's thanks to the power of the new W build. So ZulJin is definitely like a burst damage threat. I always used to joke that he was like an axe mage, and now like he actually is an axe mage.
I like it. It's like versatile like that, right? Like he can be a right click hero or he can be straight up a burst mage.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's safe to assume that he will see play in some form at BlizzCon in the group stage.
I would expect to see at least a couple ZulJin games in the group stage. By the time it gets to BlizzCon, by the time the meta is like really ironed out, he might have fallen out of favor or he might become more popular. I'm not sure, but I think we will at least see teams experimenting with him in the group stage.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe it looks unbeatable. Maybe it looks super specific. Obviously, we haven't really seen it at that highest level yet. And I'm sure the teams are scrimming with it, right? I mean, all of the teams have already flown out to LA and they are preparing for their matches starting tomorrow. So I think we can just get straight into the HGC side of things. And before we get into the group stage discussion, we're going to bring you guys up to speed with some of the changes that have happened in the scene that we know of. Notably, Michael Udall has announced that he is stepping away from competitive play, not necessarily forever, but he has left GFE as a pro player and he is now a full-time streamer. And, you know, I feel like I spoke to Michael not that long ago and this kind of seems sudden to me. I can't claim I know the guy and I'm as close to the guy as any of his teammates or anything like that, not even close. But I was really sincerely shocked because he had tweeted something along the lines of, hey guys, I've got an announcement tomorrow. Stay tuned at like 6 p.m. Pacific or some, you know, he just an announcement of an announcement. Classic. And I'm like, Michael Udall, you know, fourth guy at BlizzCon. They're going to bring him on as an analyst, a pro player analyst, throwing him on the desk. That was my thought process. Yeah. No, he's stepping away from competitive. What do you guys think?
I mean,
I
haven't surprised me, honestly.
Yeah, I have no idea what that internal dynamic is like. I don't know if he feels like if it was a skill thing or he just didn't mesh thing or whatever. But not making it to BlizzCon is a huge blow for a team, and
especially a team in their position at the start of this phase.
Yeah, so like they thought they were going to BlizzCon, you lose that slot. That's the time to really rethink things. And I think it's unfortunate that he feels he needs to retire, but I hope the best for him.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been there, Dunkus. Been in those exact shoes. So, streamer life. And I guess the other one that was announced unofficially, and it's not supposed to be public until the actual like draft period begins, I guess. After BlizzCon, Space Station has, what is it? It was Trees and Tiger JK, that are no longer part of Space Station. Again, this is all information that is not supposed to end up going out until an allotted period of time based on league rules. They announced it. We're talking about it. Space Station has had their ups and downs. I feel like Tiger is a pretty talented player, but I've heard that there are players that struggle to get along with him, or maybe he struggles to get along with players. I don't know which way it goes, but I guess it goes both ways. But that's kind of the explosion happening there. And already this means that there are 3 open spots. Now, granted, they could be going to different teams or these two, but Michael Udall, that's a vacancy on GFE. If you guys had to speculate any players that currently aren't on teams that might get picked up, do you have any ideas or no? I know Dunk's like, no?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've Reddit seems to think, Apex is a candidate. Reddit's never wrong, so.
Reddit's always right. Bam Bam. Chat saying Bam Bam.
Yeah, is definitely a shoo-in for the Space Station gaming slots. One of them.
Biceps wants to be a pro gamer ever again. I don't think he wants anything to do with that.
Yeah, I really don't know.
He just wants to sell vacuums.
I mean, do you think it's possible at all that we see one of Space Station's players go over to GFE?
You're basically suggesting, well, if definitely not Tiger, he's support, and as far as we know, Aka's still on GFE, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about trees. I think there's a possibility for trees to go to GFE.
Dunk is muted.
Oh yeah, he's muted.
Oh, nice. Nice. I mean, I don't think it's a 0%, but I don't know how likely it is.
Yeah,
it's tough. Like
for trees.
I think roster changes until we hear more about who's actually leaving their teams and stuff, and we have more information. I don't think we're going to be able to accurately predict what's going on.
Yeah.
Bam Bam has a Dunk Pride emote. That's amazing. Damn, Marche, do you have a Dunk emote yet? Every channel needs a Dunk emote.
No, I have 2 slots open though, and I've been looking for ideas. So thanks.
There you go. Yeah, get it. Take Dunk's beard and Photoshop it onto your face.
Oh my
Profit. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say, and I guess like we're not going to speculate on this any further. The final remark I'll say is that we have no idea what other things are going to happen in this roster apocalypse. I don't expect there to be a ton of stability on the lower half of the teams, right? Like what's going to happen to Lagif? Are they just going to continue being 7th place forever? Or are they going to make a change? They might have held their spot in the Crucible, but they don't want to be a Crucible team every single season. Like that is not what they want. They want to have the opportunities to go to these lands and make more money and improve and show up and get better sponsors and all of that good stuff. And 7th place still makes money, chat says, but barely. It's the amount of time that goes into it. The salaries that are received are comparable, I guess. They're nice, but they're not livable. This is, if you want to make it a full-time job, you have to find another form of revenue, whether that's a sponsor like Roll20, or whether that's being a streamer on the side. How are you going to practice? It's tough. It's not easy, especially since Heroes isn't the biggest game. Our viewership isn't like ginormous. Dynamic, I guess that's a word now. And it definitely makes it very difficult to make a living, especially if any of these guys have student debt, or student loans, or if they're trying to buy a house and move out of their parents' place. It gets harder and harder. I mean, Dunk knows firsthand. He just bought his own place, and he's doing the full-time streamer thing. It's awesome that you can do that, but I'll tell you, it's a lot of people, in our shoes know exactly how hard it can be. So we'll see what happens in the roster realm, but I think we can finally now talk about HGC. And let's just, you guys want to start by talking about groups or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should just look at each group.
All right.
Because the group stages, if I'm not mistaken, they're getting played out 1 group stage a day, and they're playing all the way to completion, right? Even through the decider?
I believe that's how it was in the past, yes. Every single match must be played kind of thing.
Yeah, that's sick. So we can just go 1 group at a time. Like, I think it'll be interesting.
All right. So, Group A. Deadly Kittens, CE, MVP Black, and Tempo Storm for the group.
Okay. So, obvious MVP Black makes it out. Not
Yeah.
even a question, right? Like everyone knows MVP Black is making it out of this group unless something catastrophic happens. The interesting question is whether CE is punching at their weight because of visa issues
Yeah.
or not. And then is Tempo Storm going to choke at an international event again?
So you're just counting Deadly Kittens out entirely.
I don't think Deadly Kittens is really a threat.
I don't think
Okay.
they're a threat to make it through the group stage. I think they're
Yeah.
a threat to maybe win a match. They might cause an upset that could determine whether CE or Tempo move on. I think that the Kittens is capable of that. I don't think they're capable of making it out of the group. Now,
Yeah.
you mentioned visa issues. This is literally the history of China. They almost like go to American lands knowing they're not going to be at full power. If we like look back a year ago, the Chinese teams like looked freaking amazing in the first section of the tournament. The first few days, they were
Yes,
just
they did.
fire, and then that just fizzled out, and they looked like crap. Honestly, they looked terrible towards the end of the group stage. So I don't know. I think you have to look at CE as a threat no matter what for Tempo, and Tempo they got to show up. They can't take this. I mean, they can't lose to Deadly Kittens. They can't lose a map to see if they can win a game off MVP Black. That's the best thing ever. But I don't think it's going to be an easy group for them.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be tough. So that's tomorrow. That'll be interesting to see if Tempo Storm makes it out or not.
Yeah, and of course you can go to heroesofthestorm.com/esports for this schedule. It starts with MVP Black versus Deadly Kittens. You don't have to watch that one. CE versus Tempo Storm. You want to watch that one. That's going to be good. 3:30 Eastern, so that's 12:30 if you're on the West Coast.
That was gonna
Time
set the
for when I
tone for
wake
the whole
up.
group for sure.
Yeah.
Can't set the alarms. Hit the snooze button here. Let's close this. Group B. We got Fnatic, Team Freedom, Darksided, and BTG Beyond the Game. Fnatic, obviously the favorites here.
Oh, yeah. I think Fanatics are as much favorites in this group as MVP Black was in the other group. Like, there's practically no chance that Fnatic doesn't make it out of this group.
Agreed.
I
feel like
can't
that's
see
how
a world
everybody
where
feels,
they'd have to really be playing like not like themselves if that was to happen. This is a LAN atmosphere. They excel in this atmosphere more than even online, and I don't know. They're the team to beat here in this cup.
Yeah.
This tournament
So
cup.
I don't know who Darksided is. Like, did I miss something? Is that a new name? Does anyone know? Is that what region is that?
That's the
So,
ANZ
okay,
It's
team.
a new Australian New Zealand team name. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's a cool.
that is
logo.
not. That is it is a cool logo. That's not most of the players who were their previous representatives.
Well, no,
when
because they lost. They kind of split, and in the grand finals, what was
They
it?
beat
Nomia.
Nomia.
Nomia,
Yeah.
wasn't able to clutch it out. Robodoba, I think, is the only returning player. I don't know. Sashin sounds familiar, but I could be.
Okay. Interesting. So, realistically, I don't think Team Freedom will have trouble getting out of that group either. Like, I think Group B, Fnatic for sure. I don't expect Team Freedom to have an issue making it out of the group either. Realistically.
Versus the Chinese team.
It's third seed Chinese team, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I think.
See, it's like it's such a. I hate that situation though, because like I want NA teams to get out, obviously, but I don't want them to only get out because of like visa issues and like because Chinese teams aren't playing at their full potential. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When we look at Chinese teams when they play in the West, you literally have no idea what to expect. The third seed could be the best team at that tournament.
It actually could be.
They're so weird. Like sometimes the best team just looks miserable, and the third seed team comes out just looking incredible. So I honestly always reserve my expectations when it comes to Chinese teams in particular for that reason, because over the last 3 years, that's what we've seen. So, I mean, Freedom, the odds are in their favor as far as we can tell, but Who knows what BTG has? Who knows what this meta is going to do with Muradin and ZulJin getting the reworks? Like, who knows?
I guess that's true. So this is Friday's group, and this is another time where like Fnatic Dark-sided, probably going to be really one-sided, and then that second match of the day is really going to tell you the power level in the group, like, and who's making it out. So
yeah, that's true.
It'll be interesting.
So that's day 2. That's Saturday.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to count
Friday?
Beyond the Game out. I don't want to count him out just yet. We'll have to see. That's the thing. You just don't know.
Honestly,
I just don't know.
I wouldn't count Darksided out either. They obviously beat Nomia. We saw Nomia perform really well at the first Western Clash this year. ANZ is a region that's always kind of been like trying to prove like that they belong like in a top 4 position globally.
Yeah.
This is a new squad. Whenever it comes to a new squad, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate right now, I know, but whenever it comes to a new squad, going to a LAN, some get completely just hyped up and invigorated by that atmosphere. Granted, I think opening week, is that at the new Blizzard Arena, or is it like a closed studio?
I don't know.
I don't think groups at the Blizzard Arena.
But
so
it's
is it
not
open to the public,
right?
No, it's not.
Okay, all right. So so it's still a closed studio. So it's not going to feel like a big LAN. So maybe that makes it easier. Still might throw people off. I don't know. We'll find out in 2 days with Group B. Group C, we've got Dignitas, Roll20, the Red Canids, and Tempest, and that is a spicy group.
Yeah, it's
guys.
a spicy group for sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Does Roll20 make it out of this?
Does Dignitas make it out of this? Does Tempest make it out of this? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think Tempest makes it out of this. Maybe.
Oh, you think Tempest is like a shoe-in?
No, I don't know. I want to see Dig and Roll20 make it out of this.
Oh man,
I'm rooting for the Canids.
Okay.
I think realistically,
My boy Dishrite.
Dig probably has like a slight skill advantage over Roll20 and Tempest. Pretty significant over Roll20, but slight advantage over Tempest if I had to guess. From recent performances. So I think it really comes down to Roll20 versus Tempest for making it out of the group.
Like Roll20 that like second round too. Like the first one, it's like I feel like Roll20 has that in the bag, and then like the next Dig versus Tempest, it's gonna like set the tone for the whole group.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Roll20 is like so high variance that like they could crush Tempest or they could get rocked up, and I'm not sure which one it's gonna be. You know?
Yeah.
This is the group of death, like without a doubt. There's no beating around that, and God, it could go anyway. This is Saturday too.
Yeah.
What? It's a good day to schedule the Saturday group of death, man. Oh my God.
This is gonna be a great weekend for HOTS Esports.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, you got to talk about early momentum. Like, if Roll20 falter versus Red Canids, they're done. Like, you got to start. You got to start strong, right?
I mean, I don't think there's any chance.
I mean, if they falter versus Canids, and I don't want.
I don't think it's likely, but some teams start tournaments out like slow. Some teams don't play 100% right out of the gate. And when I say falter, I mean dropping one game. I'm not saying losing to them. I'm saying dropping one game. You can't falter. You need to just 2-0 sweep, because it's all matches are best of threes. Each and every single game lost counts against you. So even if you win the match 2-1, it's far better to win the match 2-0, because that loss against you is a point against you essentially. So I really think this group could come down to a tiebreaker, and if you have you got to make sure you have no bad matchups in terms of like battlegrounds. You don't want to be cheesed on Braxis or something weird. Like, you never know what can happen in these situations.
Yeah, these teams are used to playing best of fives in the HGC season as well, and these groups are the old school best of three. Like, you can easily lose like one map to oops, we just didn't know they did that on this map or something. And then
It's not a bracket. It's
It's
GSL
bracket.
style
It's
groups?
round robin. Yeah.
Oh,
It's not
shit,
round
okay.
robin. It's the bracket style. Yeah.
Oh shit, my bad.
Yeah.
Previous years it was the point style, so they changed it up. All right, you guys are right. Okay, so that doesn't matter then. Well, that's good at least. But I kind of just like that. I always preferred the total point system. I want each match to be really important and have weight, so losses don't matter. But
Well,
that's me.
If you're doing a total point system, I think you have to do bigger groups too. Like you do 2 pods of 8 for total points, and then round robin them.
Yeah, you're right. That makes more sense. Group D, we've got the Soul Torturers, SPT, Team Expert, and Ballistics are back. I guess we didn't talk about that. Ballistics did, in fact, last week announce that they are once again sponsoring L5. To touch on that drama, perceived drama, there's no real drama. Ballistics wanted to maintain their sponsor. L5 wanted to keep their offers open after BlizzCon last year, and they won, right? Like, they won the event. Ballistics is like, we'd like to retain the sponsorship with you, and they're like, we don't know. And well, they never got a new sponsor, so a year later they're like, so if you want free money, well, you can carry our banner again. So maybe they'll stick around this time, who knows.
Yeah, so Soul Torturers, I think, is probably the scariest non-major region team at the event. If I remember correctly, their performance was pretty good the last time they showed up to a global, all things considered. And with Nomia not coming to the event, so Australia and New Zealand has more fresh faces who are probably playing like their first big lands, first time overseas, that sort of stuff. More likely that they falter on the main stage. So Soul Torturers probably not as disadvantaged as most of the other teams from the smaller regions, but again, this group looks really tough for them to have a chance. I think SPT and Ballistics are pretty clear favorites to make it out of this group. Like, I think it's tough for anyone else. Like, I think it's going to be tough for Expert to compete.
How do they not have a picture of a Thero Angel? He's played at BlizzCon before. Like,
I think he probably has like a Dig jersey or something on in his
Photoshop
picture,
it.
or like a different team jersey on in his picture. So
Tilted. They tweeted a picture of Crowan, or they used a picture of Crowan in an article recently announcing Heroes Hearth, like making their spot in. They photoshopped the Guild Force logo off his shirt. Blizzard, step it up. I don't care if it's BlizzCon crunch time. I want pretty photos of my favorite British men in the world. There was one of them. SPT. Yeah, this is definitely another tough group. I mean, Expert are they're the number 3 seeded from Europe, right?
yeah,
They landed number 3. You can never count out the mad scientist. I mean, at the end of the day, they're kind of a different style, and that could definitely throw off some of the other teams. I think this will be a really good group as well.
yeah. I think the match between SPT Expert will be interesting. Probably like the most interesting of the group for sure.
But you think Soul Torturers beats SPT for sure?
Could be. Yeah. That's going to be good. It's going to be good. The end of the day, though, this is just the first 4 days, the group stage, the beginning of the competition to bring us through and down to stage 2, which is the finals. How many teams? Is it just top 8 that make it in? Yeah, so it's 2 per
from
group.
each group.
2 per group.
Yep.
8 teams that will be seeded basically first and second from each group, and then scattered and matched, I would assume, randomly in the 8-team single elimination finals. The prizing, BlizzCon, $1 million, $500K for first place. So that's really like each player, before cuts and everything, roughly $100,000 per player. So you win, you get a 6-figure salary. Congrats. Like, that's dope. And then it's actually just top 4 that gets paid out. Is that it? Do they give nothing? Does this math?
No. There is some for lower than top 4, but
Piddles.
yeah, if you're not cracking top 4 teams at this event, you are not in the money, basically. Like, it's $1 million total prize pool, and they've allocated 850,000 of it here to the top 4 teams. That's 150K split between the teams that come 5th through 16th. So you have to crack top 4 to make money off the prize pool at this event.
If you get last place, you get Murloc slippers. That's your prize.
They just send you a loot box from last year.
The IRL ones? I bet you some of these people don't even have those. They'd be content with that. Actually, I lied. You know, I said they only get Murloc slippers, but in fact, they truly get Murloc slippers and a Murloc robe, right? That way they can ride their plane home, cry, and be comfortable at the same time. 1 week, ladies and gentlemen, till everything starts to really begin with BlizzCon, at least. But opening week starts tomorrow.
So as far as like meta, like team comp meta that we'll see a lot, what do you guys think? Reese, just because you went to double support all throughout the tournament, or what do you think we're looking at here?
I mean, double support's not going to disappear.
Right.
Overnight.
I feel like one thing that we're not talking about a lot is like people haven't talked about is like Ana. Like, where is she going to be? Is she going to be seen? She's kind of like a soft, counter, not a hard counter to like the double support too, and like
I don't
like
think
a lot
it's
of teams
relevant.
are
Too long
are
of a
hiding
cooldown. I mean, I see Ana being really good in some kind of like rotation styles, like really good for picks. She provides really nice sustain. I think her sleep dart is insane. Like it's super value. I think she'll definitely see play, but Dunk's got a far more valuable opinion, so I'll let Dunk give a comment.
I think Ana's like a late draft, really high impact hero. Like I think Ana will see a lot of involvement in second ban phase or late in drafts. The thing is, like, she brings actually negative wave clear. Like, if she's on your team, there's actually more enemy minions. It's harder to kill the enemy minions because she's on your team. That's how little wave clear she brings, which is like a huge downside. And it's something that people really can't appreciate. I feel like when you're talking about Hero League, when you're talking about quick match, like, people just don't appreciate that at the competitive level, wave clear is king. Like, you look at Rhaegar, insane wave clear. That's why he's one of the reasons he's so good. Like, not having any wave clear at all whatsoever is an enormous downside to Ana, and I think it relegates her to like 2-lane maps or late in the draft when you know for sure that you're not going to be crippled on like the macro game. Like, it's something that's really going to take conscientious drafting around the weaknesses of the hero, both on the macro sense and specifically team compositions, which is going to make it really hard to fit her into team comps, I think.
I don't know. I'm calling it now. Ana's going to be the unsung terror of this tournament.
I think it's just like Dunk said, late draft, because she can't be a solo support, so your support situation has to be decent. Then you're basically guaranteeing double support in those situations. Is she going to be as high impact as some of the other supports in double support roles? I guess maybe, but she really feels more like a Medivh than like a Tassadar. Like she gives your team some nice opportunities. She can save effectively with the big heal. Obviously, the fact that her W increases healing received makes double support seem insane with her, right? Like Lucio, Ana, you've got sound barrier, you've got healing over time. She can amplify that with her W, give your team ridiculous amount of healing. She has a hard CC. He has a soft CC of the boop. Maybe that becomes a big power combo. I don't know, but could be cool. I think she's super fun to watch and play though. Like Sleep Dart is scary on some maps, man.
Yeah.
I want to see like the clutch cross the map Sleep Dart picks. That's all I want to see. I want to see pro teams make her look really good. I feel like we haven't seen enough of that yet.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't seen her.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if she's gonna break out that hard. Like, she's so vulnerable, man. Like, think about every time we see international tournaments lately, it's been like the Genji Abathur stuff, Greymane Abathur stuff, like mega hard dive, and Ana's so vulnerable to that. Like,
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like, I think the Korean teams are going to show up and value like Medic and Ariel, who don't really want an Ana with them that much. Like, it doesn't really cover the right weaknesses. I think Ariel Ana might be okay, but like, it's going to be interesting.
I think there's definitely like some case for Ana versus Medic, though. I think Ana does pretty well against that. She has similar, sustain over time, where her healing is quite substantial. Like it's consistent, just in safe posture moments where Medic compositions are often in those kind of same, like safe posture in a lot of cases. And the sleep dart, again, super long range, what was it, 3 second stun? To easy to follow up with, like you mentioned, the new Muradin changes. Who knows? I think she's definitely like you said, Marche, a hero to look out for. She is new. She is being brought into the meta, and she's one to look out for. But who else? Like, if we're looking at the assassins, is Jaina with Nano Boost? Is that something we got to think about? Like, is Nano Boost a big enough variable, or is it just going to be Eye of Horus? Or is it Horus or Horus?
It's Horus.
Horus.
I'm pretty sure it's just Nano Boost, and then you play it with like Gul'dan or Li Ming, or like just any, like put Nano Boost on your tank even. I think trying to like, yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think trying to
Nano Boost Muradin is actually terrifying.
Yeah, I think drafting like Jaina or something to get Nano boosted is a mistake. Like, pick a Malthael, pick a tank that benefits from Nano Boost, like just pick an already good hero and make it better instead of like trying to stars align, like make this overpowered Jaina thing work. Because like, I just don't think Jaina's positioned very well in the meta outside of like Void Prison Ring combos right now.
What's another the Malthael is like, do you think we'll see Malthael still post nerfs? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think Q build and Malthael was already the preferred way for pros to play him, and the nerfs really just hurt the trait build a lot more than the Q build. Like, Q build lost a tiny bit of its overall damage, whereas like trait build kind of got gutted, and I think we're still going to see Q build Malthael, especially with Ana, because if like you get into a fight and you just pop the Nano Boost on a Q build Malthael, it's insane. Like, the fight is, you literally cannot lose that fight, basically, unless that Malthael gets cocooned. So I expect that to actually be, like, the most viable Ana synergy.
Yeah. We got a clip, apparently.
Oh, is Nano boosted Muradin?
What? Oh my god! That's nasty.
Yeah. That's one thing I've seen is like Nano Boost, people think, oh, ability power, put it on all the mages, but I feel like put it on some of those warriors, they become like these super beefy mages.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw your clip of you on Medivh even, like...
Oh, that one too, yeah. I'd love to see that.
Because Nano Boost provides so much CDR, it's more valuable to put it on someone who already gets to cast their spells every time they're off cooldown. Whereas, like, a lot of the mages, like, they have to wait for all their spells to be off cooldown at the same time, or, like, hit skill shots. Like, Nano Boosting Kel'Thuzad is, like, the worst feeling in the world, because if he just misses chains, then the whole Nano Boost does nothing as he waits for his cooldowns. Like, you'd much rather just Nano Boost a tank and get consistent value.
Yeah.
The stun on the level 7 with Muradin's jump and Storm Bolts feel terrible to be on the receiving end, for sure. So, cool, man. Ana, that's one to think about. We already talked about ZulJin Mura. Who else?
I don't know.
Like, that's not part of the current meta, right? What's going to help shave off some double support games from our itinerary of the BlizzCon viewing experience?
It's just such a tough question to answer, I think.
Toad build Nazeebo, always. I see a bunch of that.
Toadville, Nazebo, Lunara compositions overwhelmed them with poison. It's coming.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the reason I even bring up Anna is because we're not going to see Junkrat, so she's technically the newest hero to...
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wish we were seeing Junkrat, but I think it's better that we don't. For the players.
Do you think he would have seen play?
I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
I think we've seen
honestly,
play
like,
in front of shrines, at least, but...
Yeah, I don't think Junkrat would have seen too much play. I don't think he does enough damage. Like,
Yeah.
so much of his power is just in that knockback, and if your knockback like isn't effective, then I feel like you're such a dead hero.
It's so hard to, like, knock good players back, too. They're always, like, respecting you around it.
You almost
Yeah.
need someone to set it up. You need the Muradin as you throw in the mine, and if you mess
Dude,
it up even a little bit.
Garrosh Junkrat is dirty because
Yeah.
the Garrosh can literally throw someone into your steel trap, and then you detonate a concussion mine, and they get pulled all the way across the, like, from their fort to your fort. Feels bad, man.
In like quick match, when you do that just in lane, you just kind of like set that up, and Garrosh is this devastating threat. Like, oh, it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Crushing kids' dreams, one quick match game at a time.
Will we see Diva at all post small buffs? Or is she still no?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so. It was really only the Chinese teams playing Diva at all at the last event, right?
And they were kind of solo laning with her, if I remember correctly. They were using her in a solo lane. That was, I mean, she has so many bad matchups. I think you can't draft her in that way.
I'm not sure. We'll see. We could see a little bit of Diva, but I don't think like a whole lot.
Yeah.
I wonder how Nazmas from Freedom feels about her right now in her current state, because I know that was like one of his pocket picks.
Yeah, I haven't seen him even playing it in Hero League lately, so either he's hiding it or just doesn't think it's good.
Could be it. Dunk, I just realized I didn't make your green screen green.
No, keep it.
Welcome. Space.
Now Marche is all alone in the real world.
Pleb. Do you even Nexus, bro? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I want to like try to make some bold guesses, but there's nothing that even's like, I'm trying to think of like who could break into the solo lane, world. And we've already seen Sonya getting decent play. Malphil obviously is very good. Thrall and Ragnaros just don't cut it anymore. They just don't go, perform effectively. We've seen Ragnaros attempted. Sulfurous Smash in some weird cases can be nice, but is it meaningful enough to draft Ragnaros? No. Are you gonna draft like it's just I think Zul is gonna see a fair bit of play. Zul's in a solid position right now overall, kind of in that similar spot, but also gives you good push. Sylvanas really doesn't do anything anymore unless you're trying to do some kind of weird cheese. But I don't think we'll see any Sylvanas, which is a shame.
We'll see more Chromie. We were beginning to see a little bit of it.
Yeah.
We'll probably see more Chromie. I think she's probably the best mage right now. After the rework, and then probably won't see any Jaina. Usually we see a little bit of Gul'dan. It depends on what supports are good. Probably see Li Ming.
To say that we're not going to see any Jaina, I think is a little bold. It's a land setting. Like Zero Tool play goes up.
Yeah, I think we'll see like a couple games.
Yeah,
of Jaina,
it'll be VP ring games because Zero Tool always goes up in priority. Land setting, he does every single time because the lack of latency. In the past we'd see more Muradin priority. We'd see more Zero Tool. Genji probably goes up too. The high, I guess high speed characters, high APM characters. You see more of them.
Yeah.
Valera, maybe one game, some like Greymane still gonna see a ton of play. Li Ming probably see like a 8% pick rate. Allhark's another one that I would like to see more of when we look at the assassins. Gul'dan is going to be super highly contested. That's who you meant to say, like the best mage. Oh, you already said he's the best mage. Oh, you said Chromie.
No, Chromie I think is the best
Really?
mage
Better
right
than
now.
Gul'dan?
Dude, Dunk's on that Chromie hype train right now.
I think Gul'dan suffers from the Ariel nerf.
Okay.
And well, he is good with medic though, so that is new upside to him. But also, like, I just don't think he's as impactful as he used to be against a lot of what's going on.
It's definitely situational though, if you need clear or not, right?
Yeah.
So it's map dependent.
Yeah. I mean, you will always see Gul'dan on like Brax's holdout. Like, no question, you will see Gul'dan in those situations, medic Gul'dan, Ariel Gul'dan. But like outside of that, I don't know if we'll see much Gul'dan play. Like maybe a little Infernal Shrines, but I think Chromie is going to be like, if you see a mage, it's most likely Chromie.
Yeah, Li Ming doesn't see a whole lot of play anymore. Lunara gets way more play than her. Kael'thas, 2% of games will be played.
Just Mene.
Just Mene.
Just like 2 or 3 Mene Kael'thas games throughout the tournament when
We
they start banning out his other mages.
Falstad will see a little bit of play.
As far as like solo laners go, I mean, Dahaka's always going to be
Yeah.
in there.
Falstad's like, well, we need a global. They banned Abathur. They have Dahaka. Guess we're picking Falstad.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see any... Like, I wonder if we'll see any of, like, the push strategy as a response to double healer. Like, Nidus Zagara or, like, Asmodan for the split pressure against the double healer. That's one thing I'm curious about, because we haven't really seen much of that yet. But I think it could be a legitimate option.
I'm trying to think back to, like, I think somebody tried to respond to Fnatic that way, and Fnatic just fucking bodied them. So I think it depends on which team you're doing it to. I think there's some teams that like you can draft weird things that are bad in team fights, and they just won't be forgiving. They will just chase you and kill you and kill you and kill you, and your split push will never ramp up to a position where it means anything. So, but that's like such an uncommon thing in the game nowadays.
Oh, one that I forgot to mention, Kerrigan. Like, Kerrigan is one that people have been playing around with. Particularly Sam was playing her a bunch. I know it's in Hero League, but he's been making her look real good. And I don't know, maybe we'll see the Kerrigan come out.
Yeah,
Haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, I think Kerrigan Ana might be good. Like, you have a lot of CC to set up Kerrigan combos and stuff with Ana, and then Mana Boost on her is actually good, like, because you get the consistent value from the ulti with the spell power.
Dude, level 20, the auto attack Kerrigan, you Q in on someone and immediately auto them, and you do something insane like 1400 damage to them in like 0.2 seconds with the double strike.
With Fury of the Storm at level 20?
Yeah. No, with Nexus Blades.
Or Nexus Blades?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
What about Jimmy?
Oh, yeah.
No.
We'll see Jimmy every game.
First ban, first pick.
Only blonde Jimmy though, right?
Yeah. I thought it was Stars and Stripes. I thought you got bonus damage when you pick Stars and Stripes, Rainer.
Yeah. Blizzard did all those like half skins, like the Brightwing gets a witch hat. Like, you know, why don't I have like a pumpkin visor or pumpkin Spalder Rainer? Blizzard next year. He's so relevant. I play him so much. Specialists, Probius doesn't really.
I mean, we're gonna see Medivh at the event. I don't think we'll see any Probius.
Medivh and Zul, Zagara.
Yeah.
These are probably the three. I mean, Murky
We'll
always finds his
Abathur.
way to BlizzCon. Yeah, Abathur 4. Sergeant Hammer and Nazebo, maybe.
I mean, Vikings will probably be pulled out at some point, right?
I don't think so. Why would they be? Have they been lately?
Is like the double support 4-man Vikings not a thing?
I don't think so.
It's.
I mean,
they might
weird-
see a game or two here and there. It's going to be in very specific situations.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Warhammer's going to land, because like she always gets attempted. I feel like, and some teams, if they win it, they always try to bust her out again, and then they usually lose the second time they play her. And it seems to be like a recurring theme with Sergeant Hammer. And you know, she's got some solid mechanics when it comes down to it. She has movement. She's got a knockback. She's got decent DPS, like her sieges and all that useful. She's kind of like she almost needs like a new E. Make her siege like a D or something, make it like an activate, and give her a new E, and then Hammer will be like with this amazing new hero that everyone loves. I think she'll like, but I don't know. Supports we talk about all the time on this show.
Yeah.
Really, all that
just
matters
like,
is
he's dead, right? Like he's out of the.
Stukov is booty, dude. He's
yeah.
We'll see him be played once or twice. We will because of weird drafts.
I mean, the lurking arm is like just so powerful.
Yeah.
On certain maps, like for
towers
checkpoints and stuff.
Stopping sappers.
They gutted him as far as like his.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest. The buffs they gave to Karazim, I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw Karazim be one of those other supports that sees a little bit more play. The Transcendence actually feels quite impactful. I saw a really nice suggestion saying that all of his traits built in should, after every third punch, give him 10% more movement speed or something. That was like a random Reddit comment, but I thought that was a really interesting suggestion to try to fix Karazim, because obviously Blizzard's tuning up Insight and Transcendence, trying to be like, how do we make Karazim interesting? How do we make him interesting? And, you know, the fantasy is that he's a hypermobile support, right? Well, I thought that was a cool suggestion. But regardless, you know, the Karazims I've seen just played in general, the buffs, you know, they gave to Transcendence and Insight are pretty significant. So, who knows?
I mean, and Palm is just such a insane resource too.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see Karazim.
Maybe a little bit. The support situation is going to be very flat, probably overall. You know, Rhaegar, Brightwing, Ariel, Medic, Uther, Tassadar, Lucio, and then occasionally you're going to see the Tyrande. Occasionally you're going to see the Karazim, the Ana. Those are going to be the rare ones. The Lily in the very niche situation. Let's talk about Chen. Chen like always seems to find his way into lands with very specific teams, very specific players. Chen has a terrible win rate on actual like Hero League and stuff, right? His win rate is like 44% or something, like really, really bad.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll just kind of? Do you think he'll see any play, or will he just be like, well, Psalm's good at Chen, so he's gonna play Psalm in this spot here?
I don't know. I was surprised last time Chen was played. He's just. I feel like he really depends on, does he happen to fit well with the supporting cast? Like, Abathur is always a big deal with Chen. What tanks you're up against, and what supports you're up against is a big deal in Chen. Like, is Chen enough of a threat to solo threaten a backline? Like, is always the question. So it really depends what backlines end up looking like, what support lines end up looking like, to see if Chen is viable. Like, Ana probably has a tough time against Chen. Like, you can't really self-peel him. So that might be a legitimate thing, but I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't really play Chen or see him a ton in Hero League these days, so I can't really comment on that.
I'm just looking through the tank pool. I'm trying to think of like who we don't ever see, right?
Yeah.
Tira, we're going to see Stitches, Sonya, Muradin, ETC, Diablo, Arthas, all going to get played at one point or another. Anubarak, Johanna, Leoric, yeah, all pretty much going to get played. Rexar, big question mark.
I feel like Rexar, Diva, Artanis are probably the least likely to see play at the event.
And Chen.
And Chen, yeah. And then all the rest we'll see, except maybe Cho'Gall, but who knows?
Yeah, even Zarya still sees her play here and there in very weird spots. But Leo is interesting because like he got the rework, and I was thinking this is the rise of Leo. We're going to see a ton of Leo solo lane, but he still feels like he's pretty niche at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't think Leo will see too much play. I think especially with ETC and Muradin both being really good right now, like I don't think we'll see much Leo play. Because there's better tanks to pick.
Right.
Yeah,
if Arthas is grabbed, maybe you see Leo grabbed as a response, but oftentimes not going to be a go-to. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see what this meta looks like. I hope we get a diverse meta. I hope it's not sleeper, support, shield crap, just garbage. You know, it gets really stale really fast. So pro players, play to win, of course, but give us some good games when you can, please.
And all these 5-minute long team fights where one person dies finally.
It's like, oh no, that's it. It's like watching WoW Arena sometimes, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, all right, there goes the sound barrier. They're gonna disengage, and then Anna's gonna throw down her W, and then we're gonna heal up, and then we gonna fight again. And... Bam. All right, moving on away from HGC predictions and speculations. We're now moving into BlizzCon 2017, and this isn't just heroes. This is what do you expect to see, not want. We'll get there next. March, what are you expecting, starting with Hearthstone?
Hearthstone? I don't know, a new expansion probably. Give me a... I don't know. Yeah, just a new expansion. I'm sure we'll get something new out of there. But I don't really play Hearthstone, so I'm not sure. But I only care about HOTS. That's all I play, all right?
It's going to be a good segment for March.
Or just give me a new IP, you know?
Ooh.
An entirely new IP. Something. Give me a Blizzard fighting game.
Oh! Please. That is literally my prayers. Every night, I go to the edge of my bed and I get down and I do a little prayer at the edge of the bed. Just, Blizzard Senpai, please give me a fighting game. Please.
Oh, give me a console fighter, Blizzard, please.
No, give me a console fighter on PC. That's what I want. Yeah, you can release that on Xbox 6, but you need to put that shit on BattleNet.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. Yep. Hey, Cat. Dunk, what do you expect from Cardstone?
I actually really like watching the Hearthstone tournaments, so I think it'll be fun. As far as it goes, though, content-wise, like I'm sure it's just another X-Pack. I don't expect them to do anything crazy like adding another class or anything like that. Like I don't think they've gotten there yet.
So I don't think they'll ever add another class. In fact,
you don't think so?
Wait, the way they handled Death Knight.
Yeah.
The fact that they just said, well, we're just going to make every class the new class in that expansion. Like, what new classes do they have to add? Monk and Death Knight. Well, they have already added one in the way of not adding a class. And I think when you add a new class, suddenly you have to revamp the UI on mobile and the game because 9 fits really nice on the screen. And also you need to then create an entire new mechanic and an entire new way of playing and card set for every expansion just for one class. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So, an expansion, probably a cool little song cinematic thing. They usually do one of those when they release expansions.
Do another one, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, there's not much to talk about for Hearthstone. Like,
someone in chat says Blizzard I saw this too. They're hiring for iOS and Android. Someone's saying maybe something like Clash Royale. That would be cool, because like I'm masters in Clash Royale. I play that game a lot, but I don't know. It could be anything. It could be. It didn't. I think wasn't the job posting on the Blizzard website. It said something like RTS MMO. Like I don't even know what that means. But who knows? Who knows? That's if they're hiring for that position now, I don't think we'll see that at BlizzCon this year. Whatever that job posting is for. Now, when we look at the Diablo universe, we haven't seen anything ever. And Detective Jake says we're going to see nothing this year. Because when you look at the floor plan, it's boop. It's like, oh, hey, we're over here, guys. Come play the Necromancer. We released it last year, and you played it at 2 BlizzCons ago as well. But come play our Necromancer. Diablo doesn't have anything happening. There's no way with that floor plan.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Pull up the BlizzCon 2017 floor plan. Diablo is by the restrooms. Yeah, probably. Wash your hands with Deckard Cain's towel. Or wipe them off, at least. March, do you play Diablo? Or did you play Diablo?
I literally bought Diablo and Reversal expansion strictly to play all the way through it and get Malthael's Phantom mount in HOTS and then never touched it again.
Wow.
Dude, I paid $70 for that mount and I didn't use that mount.
Oh, we found him. We found him right by the
You know what?
bathroom.
It was worth. I'd do it again.
Diablo cosplay backdrop in the bathroom. That's damn, Monka S. So it's pretty unlikely we'll see anything there. It is good to point out that in previous years, there was one less hall at the Anaheim Convention Center. So Heroes of the Storm and World of Warcraft actually shared a main stage. They all had their own dedicated playing spaces, but when it came to the actual tournaments, those stages were shared. Since they've opened up this new hall, which is like way over here, they've shifted Hearthstone, tournament, tavern, demo, all into their own space. And I think it is definitely, I mean, it's not a PC game. It's a little bit different, has its own like quirky vibe over here. They've also put all the other kind of auxiliary things. So this is the legendary stage and the epic stage. These things are commonly used for things like voice actors or panels where they talk about like maybe the heroes team is doing a panel on matchmaking. Like, oh, we're going to talk about matchmaking and you can ask us questions. Well, they would do that at the stages over here. And then the Dark Moon Fair is like little mini games, and pet adoption is literally, hey, give me $20 for this Frostwolf pup plushie. That's what the pet adoption is. So they've got some cool stuff over there, but I mean the toy capsule, and you can literally use Hearthstone coins like to buy things in some of the machines, which is super cool. I'm really curious how this is going to be laid out though. You guys have been there. I don't really know where this hall actually, I mean,
Are those upstairs?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that like downstairs or upstairs?
Exactly. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think it has to be upstairs rooms.
But it's a new hall, so it's not going to be tiny. Like, this is a sizable amount of space.
Yeah.
But I think you have to walk, like, it's okay, heroic stage. Oh, there's another stage up here on level 2. Also level 2, it says. North Hall, level 2.
Okay, so yeah, it has to be.
So it is upstairs. And this is level 1.
Accessible through Arena Plaza.
So when you go to, what is the StarCraft 2 stage now? Last year, if you guys were at BlizzCon, this is where like the Dark Moon Fair was. They had some other stages over here. And I think there was StarCraft 2 demo here.
And then StarCraft 2 was in the arena.
And StarCraft 2 was in the arena. There is a hallway that goes up and around. So, I mean, it's obviously like kind of odd the way it's displayed here, but you kind of go around the arena. No surprise to see that Overwatch is taking the arena. Obviously, it's the most epic space, and honestly, the StarCraft team, like a very common thing in esports when they use arenas, is they cut it in half. All of this space on this side isn't actually used. They just say, we're going to put a big ass screen right here, and then all the fans can sit on this side of the arena, and that's how they use it. If you guys, a lot of you probably weren't at BlizzCon last year, but the way that Overwatch does their stage is the giant pit in the center. So it's a big circle pit in the center where the teams play 6v6, and then there are screens all the way around for people to watch. So they should be utilizing the entire space of that, and then they'll put casters, up here or something, somewhere. But it should be cool. They have a specific booth just for Overwatch World Cup. Like merch. It's not the Overwatch merch booth. It's the Overwatch World Cup merch booth. That's crazy.
That's probably like a demo. Like, it's probably just like a glass case showing everything off. Usually that's what that size square is.
Yeah, you're probably right. Is Joey's Ray's bar something from StarCraft?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's where he's drinking the whiskey.
Yeah.
Cool. They better do it well.
I'm gonna go there and drink whiskey.
We'll do it together, but not alone.
Okay.
You guys expect anything out of StarCraft? We just got the Brood War remastered. We just got the first year with a war chest, but are they done with StarCraft? They're not gonna make StarCraft 3. There's no way.
I doubt they'll be announcing new StarCraft content this year. It doesn't seem right. Timing wise. Right? I mean, like, they'll do co-op commanders or whatever, but it's not like they're releasing StarCraft 3, and it's not like there's no other expansions for SC2.
I think that's we'll get a co-op commander, but who? They have an Alarak one. They have a Zagara one. They have a Stukov one. They have a Dahaka one. They're gonna do it for Tychus.
I mean, those are all characters in HOTS. So going based off that, Provius.
Oh, maybe.
Provius co-op commanders.
Could be. Overwatch speculation. Will we get a new hero?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably new maps too.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I'm trying to think back to the first year. So Overwatch came out 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And the first BlizzCon, when Overwatch wasn't even out yet, I think it was still in beta. I don't think the game had come out yet, but the game was in beta, so it was at least people were playing it, right? I think they added Mei, Diva, and Genji all at that year. Yes, that is correct. So that was 2 BlizzCons ago. Last year, they did the whole Sombra thing, where Sombra like hacked BlizzCon. They had this whole big lead up where there was all this like viral marketing and stuff. And then during the opening ceremony, she like hacked her way in, and they revealed Sombra. Since then, they have added Doomfist, and the robot girl Orisa.
Orisa, yeah.
I think that's it. Sombra, Doomfist, and Orisa are basically the additions in 2017. I don't know. I assume we'll get a character because it's been a while since Doomfist, but
yeah, and it's like their biggest IP. There's no way they don't have like
yeah,
a lot
right.
of
It is their biggest IP. I think they said they broke 40 million players or something.
Yeah.
Like that's unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
huge. And granted, it's not a subscription-based game like WoW, where WoW we only ever like saw it's like, oh, wow, we have 11 million subscribers. I'm sure WoW sold like 75 million copies of the game over the years. But all right, we're saving heroes for last. We still gotta ask about World of Warcraft, and I saved this one for second to last for a reason, because I just started playing through the Argus stuff, and to me, have you guys played it at all or no?
I've not played the Argus stuff.
So this is like, as far as I remember in my 12 years of playing WoW or whatever it is, the first time they've ever added new ore and cloth and stuff.
They did?
Mid-expansion. So to me, it's like a sizable world, but it still feels like it's still just kind of like a quest hub, right? It's not actually like this huge thing based on what I've seen. But it almost seems like if they're introducing all this new like resources this late, maybe that's a hint of the theme of the next expansion. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but I think they do need to announce the next expansion, right?
Yeah.
Timeline wise, like
Yeah.
the next expansion should come out next year, so it has to be announced here.
Because Legion
Right.
was announced 2 BlizzCons ago.
Gamescom
Yeah.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so
okay.
it's time to announce the next expansion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been 18 months since Legion was announced. Yeah. So, you want to take a stab at I've only been saying that for freaking 10 years.
We're done with WoW expansions for a while. Warcraft 4. Make it happen,
I
Blizzo.
wish.
Accompanied by a Warcraft fighting game.
Yo, let's just kind of reel back to the fighting game idea. Do you think they would take a different IP and make a fighting game? Like maybe they say, all right, well, we don't want to throw away Diablo as an IP, so we're just going to make a fighting game that's like really blue. It should be like Mortal Kombat almost.
Like a super grim fighting game?
I'd hate that, dude. I'd hate that.
Why?
I want a platform fighter. I don't want a traditional fighter. I want a platform fighter. If they make a
I don't really play any fighting games, so it wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah, I definitely would rather have something more like Smash than like Street Fighter.
Yeah, I feel like if they were to do like a Diablo themed fighting game, it has to be more like a Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat type game than a platform fighter. I don't think you can capture the essence of the Diablo world in a platform fighter. But do you think they wouldn't just make a Warcraft fighter though? They would go Fighters of the Storm, and Fighters of the Storm is like obviously a joke that's like it's in Overwatch as an arcade game, right?
Yeah.
God, I'd kill for
Or
that.
is it a joke?
It is now,
We
but
never
maybe
know.
not in the future. They wouldn't call it Fighters of the Storm. They'd call it Fighters of the Storm 2. Duh. I don't know. All right, heroes, speculations. How many heroes are we going to see? Historically, we see 3, and one of them is weird. Cho'Gall, Lost Vikings, something that changes, that mixes things up, you know?
What was last year's?
Just 2, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we historically see 3 last year? Had
No,
only 2.
I think we just had 2.
Yeah.
It must not have been very memorable. Lunara?
Well, no, it was Rag, which was hype, and then
Oh,
Variant.
Rag Variant.
Yeah,
Rag Variant.
Yeah.
Duh, the cinematic.
Yeah. So probably 2 again, if I had to guess. 1 weird, like you said, and then 1 regular-ish.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, the Rag variant, you also got to take into account that was post Gamescom where they actually announced a lot of stuff. So that's why it might have been a bit lighter at BlizzCon. Whereas this time we only got 1 hero at Gamescom.
At Gamescom, it was a big
Yeah, that's
patch
true.
with 1 hero.
Yeah.
So
And-
maybe BlizzCon will be a little more.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get another cinematic. That could be cool. Like, I wonder if that'll start to be a more common thing where we get little cinematics like the Kel'Thuzad one for cool hero releases. I guess we got one for Rag and Variant too, so like there'll probably be a cinematic for BlizzCon for heroes. There's usually a cinematic.
Yeah.
So the fact that Kel'Thuzad had a different style cinematic, I think, gives us a little bit more hope to see the Blizzard cinematic, the full Pixar like animation
Yeah.
thing. I would imagine Blizzard has increased the size of that team because in the past, like, it was one team that did everything, but now they made these Hearthstone shorts. They've done tons of Overwatch shorts, over the last couple of years, and they managed to do that Rag and Varian one. But we also had the Diva and like Ragnaros or Diablo fight with Genji.
Yeah, we did.
So we already got one this year. I think those cost a ton of money to make. Like, they cost, like, I guarantee you they are not an easy undertaking when it comes down to things, but I hope so. And if the heroes we get are epic enough, then it could be really cool. Traditionally, BlizzCon isn't necessarily about releasing the most epic hero, right? I think that was the most surprising thing about Kel'Thuzad. Kel'Thuzad is the most requested hero the game has ever had. He's super iconic. People from WoW and everything love him and know him. And they released him at Gamescom. So, like, I don't
How
know.
can they top that at BlizzCon, you know?
That's with a cool cinematic, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that's a good guess. Hyper Mike says Diablo anime announced by Blizzard, released on Netflix. I would
Dude,
be
I would watch
all
every-
about that, Dad.
I'd
Dude.
watch every episode every single day. I would just wake up and just watch it every day.
Diablo had really cool books, like D2 era. Like, there were some Diablo books that came out that were like really cool. That universe is just so dark and gritty. I wonder if we'll ever see Blizzard move back towards that level of grim.
Like the gothic kind of like.
Yeah,
dark. Yeah.
yeah.
I think
I've
it's
always
just
liked that a lot.
the numbers speak for themselves in terms of like how many games you sell. Like,
Yeah.
Overwatch is like happy and bubbly. We're Disney, yay, pew, pew, pew. And like 40 million copies, and Diablo's like, welcome to hell, motherfucker. And you don't get the same sales for that alone. I'm not saying, it's just like the clientele just isn't. You don't have as much of an audience with those kind of games in general.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad. It is too bad because it's awesome. I hope we get a new map.
Oh yeah.
We're transitioning to wants. I want a goddamn true Warcraft map that has orcs and footmen on each side, that has classic Warcraft 3 sound effects of the tower shooting their shitty little arrows at my wave of minions, and their little cannonballs crashing down. I want it so bad.
I would only play that. I wouldn't do anything else. Like they'd have to kick me out of the convention center because I would just keep playing that map. They'd rip me off the demo stations because I'd keep playing that map over and over.
Yeah. Can you
Are we gonna
imagine
get a map though? Like Volskaya just came out.
I
don't know.
hope
if
delete
so,
it.
Dunk. I hope so.
two Overwatch maps before a Warcraft map? Blizzard,
Yeah.
you literally sold your first child to slavery, and you got this new baby called Overwatch. You're giving him all the new shoes. Meanwhile, Warcraft shoes are just desperate to be replaced, torn up on the bottom, miserable to wear, basically better off going barefoot. And here's Overwatch, this pristine child. You make a map so bad you have to remove it from the game, but you're still gonna keep giving him these toys. His grades are terrible. You're gonna buy him that new jacket when Christmas rolls around.
So you're
What's
saying
Warcraft
Overwatch
get?
is all spoiled kids?
Yeah, God,
Oh my god. It's sad 'cause it's true.
it is. Like, I love watching Warcraft 3 streams for the nostalgia element, the sounds of day turning to night, you know, the various just sound effects of every little interaction, and I think there's something to be said about that. But what do you want, March? What do
What I
you want?
to see? I mean, Warcraft map for sure. It's one that I've wanted forever. Do I think it'll happen? No, but I want it to. Nothing would make me happier than Warcraft map. Also, just, you know, I come from Warcraft, so that's... People complaining that there's too many Warcraft heroes. I welcome it with open arms. Like, just give me every Warcraft hero in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see an actual Tauren.
I'm the
Like,
same
give
way,
me-
dude. Yeah.
Like, ETC is a Tauren, but, like, he's not... Like, give me, like, a Tauren chieftain with, like, a totem, you know?
Yeah.
Give me... I mean, I don't play Alliance, but I'm cool with the Draenei just so that we, like, get them all in there. I know people, like, want Alistraza, and I'd be down with the real dragon for sure, but just Warcraft stuff. Just give me all the Warcraft content. I know chat's gonna flame me super hard for that, but whatever. I want all the Warcraft content.
So you just want more resurgence mechanics. You want Karen so that he just respawns as Baron.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen responds as his son.
The blood of life. Dunkus, what do you want?
I want more game improvements like voice comms, draft more bans, like map vetoes. That's the kind of stuff I want, because I think that would go a long way towards improving my Hero League experience. Is the ability to like thumbs down maps or ban more heroes, like make the pick ban phase faster if possible for Hero League. Like maybe it doesn't need to take so long and follow the exact path of competitive. Maybe like make a faster, simpler ban system. Just stuff like that, like to improve my experience.
I mean, I completely agree with that too, right? Like, one of the biggest complaints I hear from like players that casually play the game, and they're like, I really like the game, but like, there's no, you know, hero swapping in drafts. There's no, it's just little things like this that improve the quality of life. It's time that we get those in there. I don't know. Obviously, I'd like to see those as well.
I'm gonna stay consistent with my BlizzCon speculations from 2016 and 2015. Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna say we're gonna get a new engine that supports gifting to our friends and better tools in the draft system, lobbies that you can change the map in without creating a new lobby.
A new engine would be...
Well, because they're making Warcraft 4, right? They better be Blizzard. And they're going to take that new engine that they made for Warcraft 4 and just port all the assets to heroes. I'm sure you just drag one file into a different folder and it's
I think that's how
on
it
the
works.
new
Yeah,
engine and it's good. It's easy. Like,
The servers don't have to go down or anything.
no, you just press F5 and refresh. Like, you're good. You know, now that they updated BattleNet, you can gift Overwatch loot boxes, Hearthstone card packs
Yeah, I saw that.
to your friends. You click on the hero side, it's like, play for free. That's like what the hero store has. Like, Dunk's like, wait, I need to look at this.
Yeah, I just opened up my launcher to look at it, actually.
Do you have the beta installed for Battle.net?
I do.
Oh.
I just had a gift, it said, and I got a free Hearthstone pack, apparently, for something.
Yeah, they just want to push the gifting thing. So they're like, what do people not care about? Well, basic Hearthstone packs are basically worth negative money, so we'll give you one of those. Not an Overwatch Halloween loot box, nothing festive. I don't know, I just like complaining.
We know.
I just want BlizzCon, man. I can't wait to see what the heck they're working on.
Yeah.
I think if there's one hero I want, I think I already said this on the show, is I want Ilaria, because we don't have a true hunter. Rexar is such an oaf. He's a beastmaster. He's not a true hunter. He's not a marksman. Yes, we have Vala, but I think it'd be cool to have that fantasy of the hunters. Yes, I'm a huntard in WoW, but also Ilaria is now relevant in the story. She's part of the Argus narrative. She's actually quite prominent in the storyline, and boy, she is fun.
I want Mephisto from D2.
You want to Mephisto her?
I just feel like the D2 villains make great characters. Like, they're so interesting.
Yeah.
In the lore.
Never played D2, so yeah, Mephisto sounds like a guy.
This is Dunk's last show, actually.
Yeah, I might have to never come on again or talk to you again, Jake. I'm sorry.
That's cool. I could Google a picture of him. He better be cute. Mephisto. I'm getting sandals. I don't know why it was showing me sandals. All right, so he's apparently like a comic book character as well.
Well, it's like I mean, Mephisto is like really traditional devil name,
I see.
demon name.
He's pretty cute.
Whew, yeah.
Pretty
Nice
spooky.
picture you found.
I like his
What face in the chat?
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep scrolling down slowly.
He's like a lightning mage too, kind of like in D2, so that's also a role that we don't really have, or like a theme.
Oh, he doesn't even have any. He's like half skeleton? Or is that just the art?
I don't know. It's hard to tell in game in D2 because pixels.
Yeah, that's true. That game was, what, 8-bit? Oh, well, BlizzCon starts on November 3rd, I believe. November 3rd, 4th, 2-day event. HGC opening week begins in about 12-ish hours. Probably more like 16. So that's going to do it for tonight's show. Obviously, there's going to be a lot happening next week. Since we're all going to be traveling to BlizzCon, we cannot promise that there will be a show during BlizzCon week. It is up in the air. We have historically managed to make it happen, but at the same time, those were when I was actually out there during opening week, and we utilized the space that we had there. This time, I will not be there during that studio event. I don't necessarily have guaranteed internet and a setup to use, so we'll see. We'll keep you updated. It's a possibility. Regardless, BlizzCon's going to be dope. I will be working with the HGC team in a different role this year. And I don't know if I'm even allowed to say what it is yet, so I'm not going to say it, but it's nothing crazy. It's going to be fun. I get to really interact with the community and what I'm doing, and I'm really, really pumped for the opportunity. So big shout out to the Diablo. I read Diablo, and big shout out to the Heroes team for bringing me out there. Dunk's like, suspicious. Suspicious.
Jake's gonna cast Diablo, confirmed?
Yeah. I am. I'm actually going to cast Diablo Arena. They showed it at BlizzCon in 2012. Honestly, they did show Diablo Arena. They never released it. Marche, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Where can everyone find you, man?
You guys can find me over on my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/ggmarch. You can also follow me on Twitter at the same handle. You can also catch me on Tuesdays and Thursdays with TGN Squadron over on YouTube Gaming, playing with MF Pallytime and all those lovely people. Or you can catch me on the Hero League ladder, feeding to win.
March, do you have a Halloween costume?
No, I don't. I don't have a Halloween costume.
Scrub. Dunk. Shout outs, homie.
I don't know. You can catch me at Twitter at DunkTrain and twitch.tv/DunkTrain. Playing some Hero League. Thanks to March for coming on, and thanks to Blizzard for BlizzCon. It's gonna be blast. I don't know, man.
Dunk, do you have a Halloween costume?
If I say no, you're gonna flame me, so yes.
What are you gonna be?
I'm going to be a reclusive hermit.
Dude, actually, you know what? I do have a Halloween costume. I just realized it.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty dope. So I'm gonna really get into character for this Halloween costume and put on some gym shorts and a baggy shirt, preferably with pizza and or beer stains, and then sit in my house and watch Netflix. And that's my reclusive hermit. Yeah, never answer the door, ever. And you know, if like kids are really just slamming on the door, I'll just go and like open the door and be grumpy, you know.
Fight them, maybe. You said you have one, March?
Oh yeah, reclusive hermit. That's what I do.
Oh, okay, good, nice. My wife and I are doing a first ever couples costume, and I'm being Jonah from MST3K. It's like the easiest thing ever. You just order a yellow jumpsuit, purchase an iron-on patch on Etsy, iron that bad boy on, bam, and he's got like the scruff and the glasses and like whatever, easy life. And she's gonna be Kinga Forrester, who is the female, I guess, antagonist in the show. Anyways, that's gonna be fun. Halloween around the corner. Stranger Things season 2, BlizzCon. Life is good.
Yeah, it's a good month. Good couple weeks ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. Really is. Well, we will all wish Bakery his very best in his matches coming up here in the group stage. Be sure you're following twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes, because that's where the action's going to live for the next couple of weeks. $1 million on the line for HGC. And March and Dunk, thanks so much tonight, guys. A lot of fun. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. GG's. Welcome here to Town Hall.